Buenos días, estudiantes. This is the video for the second grammar point for chapter 13, and the grammar point is called the no-fault SE construction. As you have seen in chapters 1 through 12, we use the this little word SE with reflexive verbs. If you remember, with she and he and their plural counterparts. For example, ella se llama Olivia, or ellos se bañan. This little se is part of the reflexive verbs, right? It's an action that goes back to the person that's speaking. It goes back to the subject. Ella se llama Olivia. She calls herself Olivia. Ellos se bañan. They each other bathe themselves. So that's one of the uses that we have for SE, but that's not all. A second use of SE, we call that the no-fault SE construction. We use SE in order to deflect responsibility in Spanish. It is, in a way, a bit like the passive voice in English. We have other ways of doing the passive voice in Spanish, but this is just one of many ways. So the no-fault SE construction, how does it work? Well, you have a sentence. I have two sentences here in English. I burnt the bread, where I is taking responsibility for the action. It was me who did this. I burnt the bread. The second sentence right after is the bread was burned. So that's the action, but what happened, but who did it is not addressed in this sentence. The first one addresses it, the second one doesn't. That is the difference between just a regular sentence and a no-fault SE construction type of sentence. See, I actually translated these two sentences to the Spanish. I burned the bread in the past. Yo quemé el pan. You see, the I is there taking responsibility. With the no-fault SE construction, the I is out. And that ME that you see in red, that ME is a way of saying this burning happened to me. This action happened upon myself. This bread burning, it's a burden that I have undertaken. So this person, when you use no-fault SE construction, you do not take active blame for what happened. You say, that happened to me. So instead of being a subject, you become an object of an action. You become the receiver of an action. So it's not I burnt it, it's that this burning happened to me, me. So this sentence would have always, these no-fault SE constructions would always begin with se. That doesn't change. It doesn't matter who you speak of, who's doing, who that happened to. They all begin with se. The second pronoun, it depends on who actually is the victim, right, of this action. So if I say se me quemó, right, this burning happened to me. The verb, it works exactly like gustar. I don't know if you remember, but when you say me gusta, right, you kind of have two choices when you express preferences. You can say me gusta or me gustan, right? And the way you pick between the singular version and the plural version is not the speaker, but the thing that you like, the thing that is doing the pleasing. For example, me gusta el DVD. I like the DVD. So it is the singular because DVD is singular, so the verb will be singular. Third person singular. It is like conjugating with he or she, right? But you can also say it in the plural. Again, the subject is not the important part. It is the object that's doing the pleasing that dictates if you're using gusta or gustan. So a plural version of that would be me gustan los CDs. Because it is plural, you use gustan. Because it is singular, you use gusta. Okay? So these verbs that you are going to be using with the no fault SE construction work just like that. Just like the verb gustar. Me gusta el pan, me gustan los panes. Bread, a piece of bread, 2 or more pieces of bread. Okay? So for these no fault SE construction, you see at the bottom, all of them will have SE. The pronoun that's coming right after, it's the person, the victim, who that happened to. Se me, se te, se le, se nos, se les. So, se me, that's it happened to me. Se te, it happened upon you. Se le, him or her. Se nos, that happened to us. Se les, to them, feminine or masculine. Okay, so, and I have 2 sentences here. One with a singular object and one with a plural object. So, se me olvidó mi libro. So this forgetting happened upon me. I wasn't the one doing the forgetting. This forgetting event happened upon me, and I forgot my book. So se me, always SE at the beginning. That will not change. Se me olvidó. It's in the past, right? Se me olvidó mi libro. And it's olvidó and not olvidaron, right? Because olvidaron, you need an object that's plural, like the next one. Se me olvidaron los libros. So se me, se te, se le, se nos, se les can be used with any of these 2 sentences. Se me olvidó, se me olvidaron. And the way you pick between the plural and the singular is what's the object or the activity. If the verb olvidó, for example, is followed by a verb, by an activity, you will always use the singular. For example, comer. Se me olvidó comer. I forgot to eat. Se me olvidó comer. Or this thing happened to me, this forgetting. Okay? You will not say I, right? Because you're not taking responsibility for who is doing the forgetting. So the book explains it like this. There are sentences that you use when you become responsible for your actions. It was me who lost the keys. Yo perdí las llaves. In the past, right? Yo perdí las llaves. But the no fault SE construction makes you the victim of an action. In a way, you're in the passive voice. Okay? Like in the English, look at the sentence in English. The keys to my house were lost. Got lost. Who did the losing? No one knows. All we know is that this keys up and left. We use this every day. This idea of being the victim of the action instead of being responsible for the action. So, look, the victim of the action sentence in Spanish. Se me perdieron las llaves. SE will never change. It is followed by the person, the victim, right? That happened to me. The verb, it's either singular, third person, or plural, third person. And it is plural because you have las llaves. The keys are plural. Se me perdieron las llaves de mi casa. So this is how you form the no fault SE construction, right? Sometimes you have this a mí, a Juan, a nosotros. It is a double that is accepted in Spanish. In English, we usually don't accept. For you to double things, you wouldn't say, this happened to her, to Joan, right? In Spanish, it is completely okay to say to Juan, to him. And this is what the chart is showing you. A mí se me olvidaron las gafas. It's a double because you have a mí and me, which mean the same. Both refer to the victim, but it's completely fine. But it is optional. In the book, you'll see it often when they have this double thing. So you have a mí, then you have se, that will not change for anybody, and then you have the victim, me, which is me, le, him or her, or nos, to us. A mí se me olvidaron las gafas. Olvidaron is in the past and in plural, because the action is in the past, and gafas is a plural subject. Okay? A Juan, it's him, right? A Juan se le. Le is Juan. Cayó. Cayó is the past of it fell, right? To fall. The glass. El vaso. El vaso is singular. Cayó is conjugated as third person singular. It would not be cayeron. It would be cayó. And the last one, a nosotros se nos. Nosotros and nos, that's a double. A nosotros se nos acabó el tiempo. We ran out of time. But we don't say we, right? Time escaped us. That happened to us, this running out of time. These are the verbs that are used in no-fault SE constructions often. Acabar, se me acabó. Caer, se me cayó. Escapar, se te escapó. Olvidar, se te olvidó. Perder, se le perdió. Se nos perdieron. Quedar, se me quedó. Se me quedaron. Romper, se me rompió. Se le rompieron, for example. Okay? And the book explains how these verbs and the no-fault construction verbs work exactly like gustar, like I explained to you a little earlier. This is the first exercise that you have on your textbook, and I thought it would be a good idea to do at least the first couple of sentences with you. Look at the first one, number 1. Well, look at the model. Beto perdió las llaves del taller. Beto lost the keys to the shop. Okay? It's Beto he's taking responsibility for what happened. Let's change it to the no-fault SE construction to make Beto the victim of this event. A Beto, it happened to him, right? Se le, SE will stay the same, and LE are just the doubling of Beto, right? A Beto, se le, it's him, se le perdieron las llaves del taller. Las llaves is plural, so perdieron will be plural in the past. A Beto se le perdieron las llaves. Let's do the next one. Beto no llamó a los clientes. This one is a little... I would accept 2 answers for this. You can say Beto forgot to call, or Beto forgot the clients, right? And I have those 2 here. You can say a Beto, right? Se le olvidaron los clientes. He forgot the clients, right? That they were there, or that he forgot them and that he remembered that he needed to tend to them. Or you can say a Beto se le olvidó llamar a los clientes. The reason why this is in the singular, olvidó, is because it's followed by an activity, not by an object. Once it's a verb right after. Once you have a verb right after olvidó, right after your verb, then you cannot do it in the plural. An activity, it's singular, olvidó. Okay. Let's do the next one. Beto no compró pintura suficiente para el proyecto. So Beto did not buy enough paint for the project. And they have the verb olvidar in parentheses. A Beto, right, to him, that is optional again, this doubling. Se le is Beto, right? A Beto se le olvidó comprar pintura. So in here, I'm using the activity, so it is in the singular form. It's not olvidaron, right? It's olvidó, because comprar is an activity, it's a verb. A Beto se le olvidó comprar pintura. And then the next one. Beto dejó caer los pinceles. He let the brushes fall. And so you have to use the verb caer, to fall. A Beto se le cayeron los pinceles. A Beto se le. You see how all of these sentences have the same beginning? A Beto se le. Because Beto is the victim. So we're doubling it. And SE will never change. A Beto se le cayeron los pinceles. Cayeron is conjugated in the plural form because pinceles is plural. Beto is not the subject of this sentence. He's the victim. It happened to him. He is the indirect object, we call it. Okay? That's it for the no-fault SE construction. If you have any other questions about this topic, just email me and I'll be happy to respond to any of your questions. Thank you. See you next time.